If you think the Galaxy S24 is basic compared to the mighty Galaxy S24 Ultra, think again. The smaller Galaxy S24 is a super-powered marvel with all the processing power of Samsung's best phone, packed into a much smaller design that is easier to fit into a fashionable pocket. What can you do with this much power in such a small phone? You can use the new AI tools from Samsung and Google, including the cool circle to search that easily answers the question, "Hey, what's that?" Whether you are looking at a web page, a YouTube video, or even a photo you just took. You also get the Samsung Galaxy AI translation that work like magic, changing your words into a foreign tongue and letting you understand somebody across the language barrier. You can also play games, obviously, and the Galaxy S24 is a gaming powerhouse made better by its take-anywhere size. This phone easily beats the iPhone 15 in inside-by-inside gaming tests, and it approaches pro power in terms of processing and productivity. It can even run Samsung DeX, the desktop environment that makes your phone work like a real computer when you plug in a keyboard, monitor, and mouse. While Apple screams on the CPU in its iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, giving those phones last year's processor, Samsung endows every Galaxy S24 phones with the same Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset, at least in the US. Elsewhere, this phone and the Galaxy S24 Plus might use the Samsung Semiconductor Exynos 2400 chipset, and we'll be testing that model shortly, but we expect performance will be similar no matter where you buy the S24 and S24 Plus. The result is a phone that not only runs fast but also runs a long time, as we have seen great battery performance from phones with the latest Snapdragon on board. In battery life, the Galaxy S24 easily beats competitors at this size and price, lasting hours longer than the iPhone 15 or Pixel 8. The Galaxy S24 has a display that can crank out terrific brightness, though it isn't brightest or the sharpest display you will find. I had no complaints, even though I need to wear my reading glasses to read fine print at the highest resolution setting on the Galaxy S24. The display looks brilliant no matter how bright or dim it was set. For cameras, the Galaxy S24 can't compete with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, a phone that costs $500 more in the US, but it has the specs and features to take on the latest Pixel, and iPhone 15 fans should be jealous of the real 3x zoom lens that the Galaxy offers. There is no optical zoom on the iPhone 15, and once again Samsung wins with versatility, if not pure image quality. Samsung needs to prune its features and simplify, especially if it wants to win over iPhone fans someday. The iPhone 15 doesn't make you dig through 3 layers of settings to find the coolest new features. It just works. Samsung needs to just work a lot more on its software, because the Galaxy gets harder to use every year. Soon it will be too far gone. If you want more battery life, more versatility, and some seriously powerful productivity features, the Samsung Galaxy S24 is the right choice. If you don't care about all the extras and just want a phone that nails the basics, there are simpler and more elegant options available from Apple and Google, but Samsung gives you a sense of the possibilities that are coming in the future. You just have to drag the phone out of the past to find it. The Samsung pendulum sways back and forth between copying Apple and striking out on its own. This year, the Galaxy S24 is much closer to the iPhone 15 design than it has been in many years, while the S24 Ultra looks just a bit more unique. It's the curve at the corners of the display that really bring home the similarity. The Galaxy S24, like an iPhone, is well-rounded at the corners, while the S24 Ultra is all right angles. This is not a terrible thing, it just isn't very unique. At least Samsung has some nice colors this year. My review unit came in the cobalt violet color, which is very pretty but a little sad, like the stormy purple Apple once used on its iPhone. More vibrant are the sandstone orange and amber yellow options. I wish they were a bit more saturated and prime, but they do look natural with a nice matte finish and texture to the back glass. The glass is unfortunately Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which was the best of the best last year, but now we have seen Gorilla Armor on the Galaxy S24 Ultra and it's hard to settle for less. My Galaxy S24 review unit already has a scratch on the back glass and I don't have a case for this phone yet. Gorilla Armor is more scratch resistant and Samsung has done a great job reducing reflections and glare, but only on the Ultra model. Samsung still does a great job keeping its phones thin and light. This is no Ultra, and if you want a phone you can use with one hand, the Galaxy S24 is a great option. It's thinner than the iPhone or Google Pixel, and it's also the lightest of the bunch. Usually, a lighter phone means less battery inside, but the Galaxy S24 beats all competitors for battery life, so it's not a concern. Sure, the Galaxy S24 Ultra is our top camera phone, but that doesn't mean the Galaxy S24 is a slouch. Most of the great work Samsung has done improving its image processing carries through here. Photos I shot with the Galaxy S24 look better, more natural than photos taken with either the Galaxy S23 or my iPhone 15. You also get a real zoom lens with the Galaxy S24 and it helps a great deal. Having a real 3x zoom brings you closer to the field on the stage, even if the zoom lens is paired to a awfully small sensor that produces images with more noise and blur than I'd like. No matter, neither the Pixel 8 nor the iPhone 15 has optical zoom around back, and real zoom is always better than digital zoom, all things being equal. You might occasionally get better shots from the main camera on the iPhone 15 and the Google Pixel 8 does a better job with low light images, but the Samsung Galaxy S24 is much more versatile. I actually find Samsung's different camera modes like the food mode or the dual camera video recording mode to be fun and useful. My baked goods look detectable when I shoot them with the Galaxy, and the dual camera's video is great for reaction shots with my kiddo. Samsung also brings a bunch of AI tricks into the camera, both in the camera app and Samsung's image gallery. I wish there weren't two photo apps including Google Photos, but here we are. Unlike the Pixel, which gives you AI editing in Google Photos, Samsung keeps its Magic Editor software in the gallery. With Magic Editor, you can resize an object in your photo and move it around. You can erase the background entirely and replace it with something new. The phone will use AI to figure out what's happening in the foreground and match the new background appropriately. There is also a tool that adds more background to an image if you rotate it and end up with blank space. In practice, these are surprisingly useful. I like erasing spectators in the way when I am trying to see my kid on the field. The generative AI did a nice job without a heavy hand, and the results usually looked natural enough. I hope Samsung doesn't go too much further into creating fake imagery, but the Galaxy S24 will affix a watermark to images that have been edited using AI. Here you can see some camera samples. Even though the Galaxy S24 is the baby of the S24 lineup, it is still packed with power. If the larger sizes of the S24 Plus and S24 Ultra don't appeal to you, but you don't want to miss out on the latest and greatest that Samsung has to offer, then the S24 is still a good buy. Galaxy AI is one of the big selling points of the entire lineup, and though I wouldn't quite say it's the reason to upgrade, some of the AI features do come in handy. I am mostly referring to Circle to Search and the generative photo editing tools, but the live translate and interpreter features will also be handy in a specific situation. And while the camera hardware hasn't changed, the software behind the image processing has definitely been fine-tuned. It's better now, in my opinion, with less burned into your retinas, vividness, and more realistic hues. There is also a lot to like about the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy chip, especially power efficiency. Even though the S24 only has a 4000 mAh cell, it has great battery life, all things considered. Plus, the performance with Android 14 and One UI 6.1 is fast, snappy, and responsive enough for pretty much anything you throw at it. If you are due for an upgrade this year, the Galaxy S24 is a good phone on your shopping list. It's not a must-have upgrade if you already have a Galaxy S23, but if you are upgrading from an older model, there is a lot to like here. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.